Welcome to the second part of this series on taking your idea for an advanced technology based solution towards product and market. In the first part, we looked at how to evaluate the idea and how to determine when we reach the stages of proof of principle and proof of concept. We also looked at factors to consider while planning the next stage of the development process and how to monitor it. In this video, we will discuss proof of value and product market fit, the two stages that directly relate to product development. We will also briefly touch upon business model fit. A good proof of value prototype demonstrates that the product offers the best solution to the customer's burning problem in real life environments and provides a good indication of customers' willingness to pay and use the product. Before we go further, let us look at the market adoption curve for new products. Not all customers are willing to adopt new solutions as soon as they are available, and their adoption can be well represented by a standard bell curve like this. Some of your target customers are willing to use untested and buggy products like beta versions of software, while others want a good pedigree established for the product before they purchase it. Everett Rogers, the author of Diffusion of Innovation, divided the target customers into five categories depending on their readiness to adopt a new innovation. The first customers who are willing to try a new innovation, like a beta version of a new software, are innovators. These are the customers who would be willing to work with you on the proof of value prototype and test its performance in their environment. These customers may even have contributed resources and expertise to help you develop the proof of value prototype and test it. As you move along the development process towards product market fit, the focus shifts towards capturing market share among early adopters. The other categories of customers are early majority, late majority, and laggards, in decreasing order of willingness to take risks of using new innovations. A solution that has demonstrated proof of value under real life environments is closer to large scale deployment. Focus of product development shifts towards user and market centric attributes like usability, serviceability, reliability, and robustness. Product documentation and certifications will also need to be planned for and resourced. On the process side, the focus on scale up and throughput, which started while initiating the proof of value prototype development, will be further enhanced to cater to larger markets. The risk appetite of customers decreases as we move right along the customer adoption curve. Hence, reproducibility, quality assurance, and quality control issues also need to be planned for and resourced. Systems to track market based parameters like customer satisfaction, conversion ratio, distribution reach, after sales support, and channel partners need to be established so that the value proposition promised to customers is delivered and refined to best meet their expectations. Financially, clear revenue model needs to be developed. Overall business plan, including financial projections and investment requirements, need to be developed. This last factor related to investment is especially important as we move beyond the proof of value stage. If we look at the overall cash flows in financing an early stage technology idea to product, it looks something like this. Prior to proof of principle stage, such ideas are typically funded by research grants from government agencies. Ideas that go beyond the proof of principle stage can be developed towards a proof of concept using small commercialization grants that are typically provided by government agencies. Examples of such grants are SBIR and STTR grants in the US and SBIRI grants by BIRAC in India. Some of these grants support development of technology beyond proof of concept towards proof of value. Some early stage private investors invest so-called patient capital at this stage. An idea that has gone beyond the proof of value typically does not have many government grants to tap into. If the investment quantum is small, seed stage investors or angel investors may fund this stage before product market fit. This stage also requires significant investment to scale operations, market reach, and manufacturing. While the technology risk has been minimized through the development cycle, market and scale-up risks still exist as the product penetration is limited to innovators and early adopters, and revenue and profit margins are still few years away. Hence, this is the hardest part of the early development process to fund, and many ideas tend to fall into this valley of death without ever reaching the market. One of the keys to ensuring that the idea doesn't fall into this valley is the ability to assemble a great team. At the early stages of idea development, the team comprises entirely of researchers working in their labs. Once a proof of principle is demonstrated in the lab and the development process moves towards proof of concept, the team requires multidisciplinary research team along with engineering skills and legal expertise like patent drafting and contracts. Beyond the proof of concept stage, you would need a dedicated entrepreneurial team along with engineering and research teams to take the idea forward. This entrepreneurial team will work on defining the target market, acquisition of innovators among target customers, address scale-up issues, and estimating financial resource requirements. Legal expertise to protect intellectual property as the team collaborates with external partners and customers will also be required. As we move beyond the proof of value stage, the role of researchers comes down and entrepreneurship and engineering drive the development process. As the team seeks external funding, expertise in financing and legal contracts related to financing become more and more critical for the success of the effort. Beyond the stage of product market fit, the team looks more and more like a business venture with business and finance driving the developments. Once the proof of value prototype is validated, we move on to figure out a good product market fit where the value proposition to customers that was defined in earlier stages is validated by the user and the market share moves from innovators towards capturing early adopters through organic channels like word of mouth, and existing customers are coming back with repeat orders. Typical metrics to identify a good product market fit are Net Promoter Score, which measures the likelihood of a customer recommending your product to others, churn rate, which measures how often customers switch away from your product, growth rate, market share, and media inquiries. As the product gains traction with good product market fit and value proposition becomes clear, the focus shifts to identifying a business model fit. This is where you figure out how to grow your market share and revenue while enhancing shareholder value. Key activities that can be done internally versus those that are outsourced. Key partners and cost components are identified and refined. Supply chains are optimized, distribution networks are established, and strategies to fine-tune operational and production processes and customer acquisition are devised and executed. The metrics used to measure business model fit are typical metrics used to measure the health of any business. These are revenue, cost of customer acquisition, cash availability, productivity and employee satisfaction, gross and net profits, working capital requirements, and operating cycle. Since these changes have an impact on the value delivered to the customer, the product market fit and business model fit are fine-tuned iteratively to arrive at an optimal engine for future revenue and growth. While part 1 is more general and applicable more broadly across different types of advanced technologies, the development process discussed in this video is applicable more to advanced technologies that are not platform for divergent applications. The technology developed leads to a standalone solution that doesn't require significant integration into customers' existing systems. It is also assumed that the process technology to scale the solution is well understood in the industry. Any new developments in the process technologies or requirements to integrate the solution into customers' existing systems will introduce other valleys of death, and steps to account for these additional risks are not discussed here. We further assume that regulatory framework around the technology and the products you are developing is well defined. Any uncertainty in the regulatory framework and introduction of network effects like those we saw in early stages of electric vehicle evolution also requires additional steps to mitigate them and are not discussed here. Putting it all together, here is a broad overview of the criteria for evaluation of each stage and the factors to consider in planning for the next stages of development.